Everybody, this is Leroy, and welcome to my channel, 40 and Broke, where we're all about saving, investing, and getting our finances under control so we can live the life we've always dreamed of, because that's what it's all about, living the life we've always dreamed of. So, I'm going to do a few more of these lives. Why? Because they just seem pretty easy. I can do them when I'm at work, and I want to stay on the topic, and my topic today is going to be budgeting. A simple budget. How I do a simple budget. And like I said before, all I use is scrap paper. Here we are with a piece of paper. I take my money in, money out. That's basically what a budget is. So at the top of the piece of scrap paper here, I'm going to write how much money I have coming in off my paycheck. So this paycheck was a short paycheck because of the holidays. So $1,700. My wife right off the bat will get $500. I have my mortgage, and my mortgage is $750 a month. So I will put $375 off to the side, and that has me at $875. Oh, hey Nora, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm sitting at work also. I'm just, it's snowing pretty good out. Man, I seen a bad accident on the way up. I hope the people are okay. That truck, it wasn't a semi truck, it was a pickup and a trailer. Flipped right over onto the roof. Oh, it was rough. It was a good thing I only do like 55. I'm not gonna risk it. But okay, so back to my budget. My mortgage, I said, was $750, so I've set aside $375, so we're at $875 now. My insurance, I pay a lot in insurance. So I pay like $650 a month worth of insurance. So that's half of that is what, $325. So we're going to mark that down. But the $325 in insurance, or $650 a month in insurance, that's 2 trucks, my wife's Jeep, and a van. And then I have a supplemental insurance that I have on my house in case like something happens to my wife and I, that it'll be the debt for the house will be, sorry, that was my e-log for work. The debt for my house will be wiped out, so I have that. And I just signed up a few months back for Index Universal Life. That whole bank on yourself concept. If anybody watches Garrett Gunderson or knows who Garrett Gunderson is, he talks a whole lot about the bank on yourself. Robert Kiyosaki talks about banking on yourself. Things like that. But what they do is they use the Index Universal Life whole life insurance. So I've got a small life insurance policy that I'm kind of building up to do that for. So that's where the $650 comes into play for insurance. It's like $250 is the 2 supplemental insurance, and then $450 is between vehicles, full coverage on everything. So okay, so we've got, like I said, we're back to the drawing board here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there we go. That's what I have written down so far. You want to get your 4 walls. When you do a budget, 4 walls. Dave Ramsey always talks about the 4 walls of a budget. What are the 4 walls of a budget? It's your house. So you need the roof over your head. So you want to make sure your rent or your mortgage is paid. Second is your vehicle. You need transportation back and forth to work. So that's going to be your car note. I don't have a car note, but I do have insurance and I have gas. So I spend about, I'd say $100 every 2 weeks in gas. So I'm going to mark down gas, $100. So that puts me at another 100, which we're at, oh my goodness, what are we at? This money's going to be gone real fast. That's what sucks about having a small 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so we're at 1,300 on 1,700. Do I advise you? No, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a financial coach. I'm just talking about budgeting and stuff like that. The problem with being a financial advisor is you need like licensing, you need everything like that. I don't have any of that. And then it's like stuff like that. You got to get down into the investments and all into the weeds, into the 401ks and stuff like that. I don't care that much for it. So, yeah, I don't about trading, advise you about trading. I don't really trade. The Stock Explorer up there, if you go check her channel out, she talks a lot about stocks. She talks a lot about trading. Personally, my what works for me is I'd rather just set it and forget it. What I do is when it comes to, I don't trade, I invest. There's a difference. Trading is to create income. Investing is to create long-term money. Long-term investing is for the future. Trading is for income now. That's how I look at it. I don't trade. I'd rather invest because I'm thinking long-term. But what I do with my investing is I have my 401k at work. They invest in what they have. Or if I buy it, like if I work at Walmart. Oh, hey, thanks. Thank you, Sakrin Srivasan. Oh, have a good night then. But KZ Zone, back to what you were saying. I don't, when I invest, what I do is if I buy from somewhere, like I shop at Walmart. If I'm going to go get my groceries at Walmart, I invest in Walmart. If I get my gas at a Marathon or a Sunoco, I invest in the Marathon or Sunoco gas station. I invest in the places that I shop at, and that seems to work for me. A good thing I heard from a guy that was a financial advisor on YouTube was, he said if you wanna invest, the S&P 500, all traders are trying to beat the S&P 500. So his advice was just bet on the horse that everybody's trying to beat. You can't go wrong with that. So his advice was it's boring, it's simple, but you can make a lot of it builds up if you invest in like the SPY or some sort of index, something like that. Warren Buffett says the same thing. If you don't want to go through and look at all the charts and everything like that, just invest in the S&P 500, set it and forget it. That's the easiest advice that I've noticed on the internet from people that give advice on stocks. But like I said, I don't give advice. I just do what works for me. And I just seem to be pretty lucky at it, I guess, I mean, but I don't even want to say it's luck, because if you don't do dumb things, hey, dumb things don't happen to you. So, but I'm going to I hope that helped you. I would check with the Stock Explorer. She has a good channel. I'm trying to think of the guy. The guy's name's Jeremy Newsom. Real Life Trading. He's pretty good. Nora, the Stock Explorer, she swears by Peter DiCarlo. Anyways, it's called Traders Helping Traders. So she swears by him. And I've been on his channel. He does give some pretty good tips, stuff like that. So There's a couple channels that might help you out there. Like I said, the Stock Explorer, Nora the Stock Explorer, Jeremy Newsom, Real Life Trading, or Real Life Traders, something like that, and then Traders Help, excuse me, Traders Helping Traders. That'll help out. Oh, it's. I thought that was a comment. It was like some YouTube pop something up. Add a question and answer sticker. What's your favorite shape? My favorite shape? That's whatever, but all right. Hey, you're welcome, KZ Zone. I hope that did at least lead you in the right direction. So I wish you luck, man. I hope, hey, go out and make your millions there, man. That's what it's all about. But let's get back to this budget. So we talk about the four walls. So when I was teaching the finance class here a little while ago, I told them there's three things. It is the most boring things, and I'll repeat them over and over and over again. But budget your money, expense track your money, save your money. And then I would even say invest. But that's a fourth thing. Until you get the first three down, the fourth one is not something you should worry too much about. I say, but I do invest. I think you should invest whether you're saving and getting out of debt or not out of debt yet, whatever. I think you should save I think you should invest because it compounds. But anyways, that's the three biggest things. Save, invest, expense track, and, I messed that up. Budget, expense track, save. And I can't repeat those enough times. So here we go, back to the budget. Step number one, budget. Four walls. Dave Ramsey's four walls. You need those. You need your house. You need a roof over your head. You need your vehicle to get you back and forth to work and do what you need done. So that's going to be insurance, car note, gas. So that's where we left off. So then we got utilities. You need heat on in the house. Well, you do if you're from Michigan like I am. It is cold outside right now. So you need heat. You want the lights on. You need everything you need to live inside that house. So that's going to be your electric bill. That's going to be your propane. Or natural gas if you have natural gas, whatever you have to heat your house. I have propane, so I have to pay propane every couple of months. So right now, the money that I send to my wife right off the bat, the $500 that goes to my wife, part of that goes to our utilities. She pays the utility bills with that. So there's that. And then you have food. You need to eat. But I'm not putting it. Sorry, I'm trying to think at the same time. But part of the $500 that I send to my wife, that goes to groceries also. Sometimes I just use extra money that I have to pick up groceries here and there. But so the four walls: house, lights, car, food. So there's the four things. Now, even with the utilities, I say a phone because everybody needs a cell phone these days. So my phone and internet bill is $60 for my internet, $60. So that's $120. So that's $60. $60 for this paycheck, so that puts me at $1,360. I want to put $100 in my emergency fund, so that's $1,460. I need to set aside for propane. I'm going to set aside $100. That's $1,560. I know I'm missing something because I always miss something. Every time I do a budget, I miss something. But I have my old budget right here. So I'm going to look at my old budget and I'm going to say, what is it that I missed? So I've got my wife, my mortgage, my insurance, gas, emergency fund, phone, propane, 1560. So I'm gonna say my cats, because my cats are expensive. So I'm gonna set aside 25 for them. It puts me at 1585. And that's going to leave me with right now $115 extra that I'm not sure what it's going for. So, as a recap, we have $500 to my wife, and that will be for utilities, some bills that she has, and groceries. $375 goes to my mortgage. $325 goes towards insurance. $100 for gas. $60 for my phone. $100 for my emergency fund. $100 for propane. $25 for my cats because they like wet food and they like treats and, cat litter. Because my cats are spoiled. They are super spoiled. And what can I say? I know there's probably something else. I know there's a lot of stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I'm missing because every time I do this, I always miss something on my budget. I've been budgeting for years and I miss stuff. So if you guys are beginning budgeting and you miss stuff, everybody misses stuff. Like I said, I've been doing this for years and I miss stuff all the time. And then I'm like, oh, how did I miss that? Oh, how did I miss that? So I got that. That puts me at 1585. And that's how easy a budget is right there. On a simple piece of scrap paper, doing some math. It doesn't have to be hard. And if I don't budget my money, I've noticed that when I don't budget, I feel as though my money's just out of control. Like things, it just feels hectic. I mean, that's it. If that's how that's what I think, because I'm like, okay, I've got this money, but I don't, where does it go? Oh no, I didn't make a budget. Jim Rohn says that a written budget tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And that's so true. That's completely true. And I always feel better when I do a written budget. And it's just simple. It's so simple. I find it so funny. I watch a lot of finance channels. So I watch a lot of different financial channels, and I'll always see these things where, it'll be like one person will be like, oh, budgeting sucks, or I hate budgeting, or I've got this whole plan that get your finances under control, and you don't have to write a budget at all. You don't have to budget. You don't have to do this. And then the first thing they have you do is set up a budget, because the guy will be like, budgeting sucks. I hate budgeting. I hate everything about budgeting. It's too restrictive. It's this. But every time I get paid, what I do is I set aside 2% of my money to, just waste that I can spend on whatever I want. And then 5% goes over here, and then 7% goes over here, and this goes over here, and this goes over here. And it's like, that's budgeting. You're budgeting your money. Or somebody else would be like, oh, I have the stuff where I tell you can do this, that, or the other. And it's just like budgeting, but not calling it budgeting, because I guess a budget just feels restrictive. It gets a bad rep. But I tell you what, a budget is the most important tool in your financial toolkit. Budget. Expense tracking is the most powerful tool in your financial toolkit, and I'll talk about expense tracking on my next live. But I've got to catch up on my expense tracking. I'm a couple days behind. But whereas, like I've always said, a written budget is the most powerful tool in your toolkit. Expense tracking. No, I always mess that up. Man, I tell you what, a written budget is the most important tool in your toolkit, but expense tracking is the most powerful. Okay, healthy fit. I have my own business and I have a budget for the business only. So, yeah, I mean, even right there, it's like if you're gonna have a business, you need to have a budget. Otherwise, you have no idea where your money's going. So, I say the same thing with personally. I have a couple businesses. Nothing major. I'm trying to build them up. So I've got a financial coaching business and I track everything with that. I've got a lawn care business. I track it, all the money coming in, all the money going out with that. And then in my personal life, I track my money coming in and my money going out. That way I know where my money's going. And I just don't feel, like, where did it go? Just like, oh, it's a mystery. My money's gone. I have so many people tell me, oh, I need a raise, which, don't get me wrong, I would love a raise. I make decent enough money, but I would love a raise. Who wouldn't? But then when you ask them, well, where'd you spend your money last week? They haven't a clue. Well, what'd you spend your money on last week? Oh, just bills. Dude, you're drinking. Okay, so you've got the Mountain Dew there or whatever. So, obviously, you spent some money somewhere on Mountain Dew. Did you spend it at a gas station or did you get it at Walmart? It's like, so if you're not expense tracking, you're not keeping track of all that. And people spend $1 here, $1 there, $2 here, $2 there. That stuff adds up. I noticed that when I was here at work, I used to go to the deli and I get a lunch, and I was like, it's only $5 here and there, $5 here and there. Well, over a month, it added up to $100, and that was just going a couple times a week. And I was just like, oof, that adds up. I need to tighten up. So that's where the budgeting and the expense tracking really came into play. And looks like Shubham07, where are you from? I'm from Michigan, the United States. So I'm sitting in my truck. It's pretty cold. It's like 20 degrees out. Wind's blowing pretty good. It's snowing up here. And my feet are starting to get cold, and I've got them in insulated muck boots. But okay, healthy fit. I have a bakery and a gym. I have a budget limit for both. It keeps my businesses going. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the budget is, it lets you know where your money's going. And if you were just spending money willy-nilly, next thing you know, you're like, where did all my money go? Where I don't have a clue what I spent it on, what's coming in, what's going out. So I think that's really all a budget is. It's, what do I prioritize? And it's like, obviously I'm going to prioritize my bills and the things I have to pay. And then after that, whatever I want to spend my money on, that's what it's there for. And like me, I want to prioritize saving because I don't like working a whole lot of hours. I mean, I don't mind it, but I would like to retire before I'm too old to be able to do anything. I'd like to be able to travel. So I like to save. I want to save up money. I want to get, I want my investments to do well. So I invest in my retirement. I try to save up so that I don't put myself into debt. Now, granted, I use credit cards for everything that I buy because I like the reward points. I'm loving the no, sorry. Well, good for you, Fortune Decider. I mean, that kind of makes you a sick bastard, but you know, hmm, trolls. Just like you got nothing better to do, but I don't even know. And I don't have any oh, there we go. I'll remove that. There we go. So the Yusuf John Sanganov. So hey, what's says hey, hi man, what's up? But hey, what's going on with you? So, but like I was saying, it's like I use the credit card for stuff, and it just I like the points because I use the Fetch app, and I have the Fetch reward card. So, or I use the Fetch credit card, and I just rack up Fetch points like this, and then I turn them into an Amazon gift card, and I try not to pay for my Amazon purchases, and that's what I use. I can't, rarely do I use uh, use my own money to pay for Amazon purchases. My father owns a mattress and a matters. I'm assuming you're saying mattress and furniture store. He's had it for 8 years. That's awesome. That's awesome. I remember watching it was a video where the guy sold mattresses, and that's what he did. And he actually built a huge store, and it just started with one or two mattresses, selling one or two mattresses, and the next thing you know, he was making a killing. And you can I thought you meant mattresses, but yeah, I mean, you can make a killing doing that. I don't. You can pay the credit card off in time to earn points. So Sam 5908 says, as long as, and I'm sorry, let me finish what I was saying, Healthy Fit. But yeah, it was a mattress and furniture store that I remember the guy saying that that's what he built his fortune on. So I don't know how long it took that guy to do it, but I just remember he went from I need to sell a mattress to um, okay, now we've sold a whole bunch of them and we're good to go. But okay, so Sam 5908 says, as long as you can pay the credit card off on time to earn points, if not, interest rates will suck you dry. Yes, that is the caveat. And thank you for reminding me of that because I forgot that. I do not pay interest on any of my credit cards. So everything goes on the credit card. And then every time I get paid every other week, so bi-weekly, I pay off the credit card. So that way I don't get any interest charges. So it's all points. Um, Last year I decided what I was gonna do was I was gonna use my I used my credit card for nearly everything, and all the points went towards holiday gifts, stuff like that, birthdays, holidays, Christmas, stuff like that, and or Yule. And I had $900. I think it was like $900 in the reward points on the credit cards for the cash back. And so I decided I signed up for the Fetch card at the end of last year, and I'm like, let me see how well I can do with the Fetch card just by doing like Amazon gift cards. So I'm going to do that this year, and I'm already, excuse me, I think I'm already at $150. So I think I'm doing pretty good with that one, you know, and excuse me. So $150 in Amazon from Fetch points since basically Thanksgiving, end of November. So the end of November until now, I've cashed in three, yep. Hey, Lisa. I've cashed in three $50 cards. I think just in January so far. It's the 14th today, I believe. It says, well done, make the system work for you. Exactly. Somebody asked me, they were like in January, I've already got 22,000, 23,000 points in fetch racked up. And somebody asked me, they're like, don't they they're not getting interest from you? How do they make money off that? I'm like, well, they don't make money off me. I'm like, that's for sure. But for one person that's doing this, that pays their credit card off in full, gets all the points, no credit. Hey, Tracy, how are you? And pays their credit cards off in full and doesn't pay any interest. For one person like me that's doing that and getting money back from them, basically free money, you got 9 people that are paying interest and keeping a balance on theirs. So to me, I'm a wash. They'll give me money all day long because they're giving me 1-2%. They don't care, but they're making 25% off 9 other people. So I mean, you're talking huge profits from the credit card companies on other people. But as long as you're one of those people that stays away from those huge interest rates, then pay it off in full. That's what I do. It took me years to learn that. It took me years. I racked up a lot of credit card debt. And I remember my father telling me, he's like, just use the credit card for stuff that you're going to buy anyways, like gas. Set aside the money for gas, pay it off, And once I got the credit card, I did not do that. Obviously, I was like, woohoo, plastic money, let's go crazy. And that's basically, mine was maxed out pretty quick. And then it took quite a few years, and then I finally paid it off. And so Sam says the biggest trap I have seen is people who get new credit cards to pay off other credit cards, and it becomes a cycle of debt. Yes, that is a huge cycle of debt. Now, I'll say on a caveat to that, what I did, kind of similar. I had a whole bunch of debt, and I had a personal loan for a roof on my house. I had credit card debt. I had car loans. My wife had credit card debt and some medical debt. So what I ended up doing was I refinanced my house. I refinanced it to a lower interest rate, got more money out of it. And so I owed like 60 grand. I pulled out a 30-year mortgage for 100 grand. And it lowered my payment. It lowered my payment by $50 a month. And then I used all the extra money to basically pay off all those debts. So my mortgage payment went up $50, but all my other debt, I wiped out like $700 a month in payments. So to me, it was a win-win. Now I just gotta crack down and pay off that mortgage payment. So I'm a Better Dog said hi. Hey, what's going on, man? Space Miner said, what up, broke fam? I hear you. I'm a Better Dog. I live paycheck to paycheck, and I owe Cash App. That's rough, man. I hear you. I lived paycheck to paycheck for years. My advice, it's like I said at the beginning of the video, they sound stupid, but the 3 things you can do, the 3 easiest things you can do is you can get yourself on a written budget. That is the most important tool in your financial toolkit, is a written budget. And I just did one, so you can watch the beginning of this video, even though it's a ramble. I did a quick written budget. Look, it's just on scrap paper. You don't need anything. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need any apps. You don't need any spreadsheets. That's just a piece of paper that I had in the truck at work. And I put my budget on it. It's letting my money, giving my money a job. It's that way I just don't wonder where it went to at the end of the week. The other thing I do is I have one of these planners here. Sorry, I didn't mean to flip everybody off. I was trying to hold the paper. So, but I've got a monthly planner. And I expense track. You see, I've got to catch back up on it, but this is all everywhere I spend my money. So the budget tells your money where to go. Expense tracking tells you where you actually spent your money, so it tells you where your money actually went. To me, that's the most powerful thing you can do. Most important is give yourself a written budget. That's basically money going in, money going out. Watch the beginning of this video and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then expense tracking is basically where I spent my money. And then I'm a Better Dog says, praying to God is the best thing to do, but don't treat him like a genie. Hey, Faith, I am a huge person of faith. I hear you. But you're right. The funny thing is, it's like when I pray to my gods, every morning I ask, there's one God that I pray to, Lord Frere, and I ask him, I thank him because he's a God of peace and prosperity, a God of prosperity. I thank him every day. Thank you for the prosperity that you've given me in my life. Thank you for the bounty, the good harvest, everything that you've given me. And I ask, if it's your wish, continue to bless me with these things. So every day I have long hours at work. It's like Morgan Freeman said on that show with I don't know, where it's supposed to be like the modern day Noah's Ark. I can't remember. The dude's building the ark, and he's sitting there and he's talking to I don't even know her, Lorelai Gilmore. That's all I remember her as. But and he's like, when you pray to God for patience, he doesn't give you patience. You know, the gods give you places to be patient. They put you in situations that create patience. They put you in situations that create wealth opportunities. So that's what you got to do. When the gods put those wealth opportunities in front of you, you got to take them. You got to be able to step up. And I tell you what, I'm a Better Dog. I believe it is Solomon. If you read in Solomon and Psalms, I think it is. I think Solomon talks about like budgeting your money, tracking your money. There's a lot of verses in the Bible that talk about budgeting and tracking your money. So, but be a good steward of your money. Dave Ramsey says that all the time. To be a good Christian, to be a good steward of your money. And I don't know if you're a Christian. I just assume because you say praying to God. But being a good steward of your money. But to be a good steward of your money, you have to, like I say, budget, expense track, save. Those are the three biggest things: budget, expense track, and save. And I know saving's hard, but if you budget and then you expense track and you see where your money's going, and then that way you can tighten up your budget, do a little better. But then you start spending your money where it matters. Like I said earlier in the live, I realized that I can bench 150 kilograms with my bum. Well, good for you. So basically what you're saying is you just sit on your ass all the time? Huh. Yeah, okay. But trolls. But what was I saying? Okay, so being a good steward, stuff like that is that's the biggest thing. And once you start doing all that, it takes time. Getting out of debt, getting your money under control, it takes time. It just you get better at it and it gets easier. But Space Miner, I noticed your comment. You said not shilling. I use silver and gold to get ahead. I'm a wildland firefighter. I make money one season a year. I convert cash to metal and sell the metal on highs. Not recommendations, just my experience. And then you said I had to end the debt and it hurt bad. Pretty much complete reset. I sacrificed a lot of comfort, but now I'm living better than ever with money. That's the one thing. And I agree that I see you're not shilling or anything. I see what you're saying, using silver and gold. Well, precious metals, yeah. You know, precious metals are one way to do things. And I guess if you're not like in the stock market, I guess the one thing you could really do is it's like if you're buying bars, you're not really getting hit on. I guess you probably technically would be the capital gains, but you know, um, that's I have some silver. I've always thought about buying more physical silver. I want to take silver. I've got 2 troy ounce of silvers, uh, and um, I want to get another one, but I want to have them melted down. I want to have a guy make an oath ring for me out of them. So yeah, it does hurt when you have to end the debt like that. It hurt. I'll say that, but I tell you what, when I first did a budget, when my wife, because she had a whole bunch of medical debt and it was just stacking up and she would just ignore it. And when we finally sat down, it just felt like a huge relief when I finally got everything in order and I seen exactly what the number was. It's like, here's the number. We can attack this. We can do this now. So, Sam, what's your opinion on crypto? Personally, I have no opinion on crypto. I trade it like any other commodity. I'm not one of those crypto bros that are like, Bitcoin's going to save the world and Bitcoin's going to get everybody out of debt and it can't be controlled by governments. And we've already seen that it can be controlled by governments. China banned it. I don't know if it's still banned, but they banned it. So obviously they're able to control crypto. The US has put restrictions on it. Now that it's being traded the way it is, it's being used by all the big companies and stuff, the big whatevers, and so they manipulate it. But I just ride the highs, sell them, and buy low, sell high with it. That's what I do. If I have, and I'll hold it. It's like, I think my Bitcoins, I'm losing money with it right now because I think I bought it at 103 and it was doing pretty good. It was up to 120 something, but I wanted it to be at 25% before I sold. So, and then it kind of dropped back down and I'm waiting for it to go back up. I'll hold it. If I lose money on it, it's not something that that I need. So that's the one thing. Anything I trade on, it's got to be money that I'm not worried about losing. So I'm not taking money out of my account in order to, like my emergency fund. It's not like, oh, hey, crypto's doing awesome. Let me put all my money in crypto that are for my bills and then hope that it goes up, and then otherwise I'm like, oh no, now I got to sell it at loss. No, I'll hold it. I've held some stuff for years and then I forget about it. So, but my biggest thing with trading crypto stuff like that, I wouldn't mess with it. If I had a whole bunch of debt and I was living paycheck to paycheck, I wouldn't mess with it. So, but unless you just wanted to go tiny bit. Okay, let's see. Space Miner. When I got into finances, I started in stocks, moved to crypto, and landed on physical. I couldn't move the stock fast enough to flip, so moved to crypto for fast flip. Got tired of heart attack anxiety. It's a roller coaster. Ended anxiety by owning the real stuff. Hey, yeah, I know a guy. If you already bought it, just keep it long term. Cash already spent. You make it through rough times. You forget about it. Exactly. That's what long term investing is. Warren Buffett says that if he's investing in something, he buys something and then assumes that the stock market's going to close for 5 years the next day. But yeah, long term. And I hear you about crypto. Crypto's a roller coaster, and if you stay on it and you're watching it all the time, yeah, it's a heart attack. I can see that. What would you recommend the government does to pay off 38 trillion? Dude, you don't even want to get me started on politics, because I'm so fed up with politics that it just has me irritated. Everything has me irritated. I'm a bit of a libertarian, so I'm conservative, but I'm more of a libertarian just because quit. Yeah. They're not going to pay it off. The government can't pay off $38 trillion. We can't even fathom how much money $38 trillion is. I think let me put it this way. 1 second or 1 million seconds was 11 days ago. Last week was 1 million seconds. About 2 weeks ago was 1 million seconds. 1 billion seconds was 32 years ago. So 1 billion seconds, I was 15 years old. 15 years old, doing a bunch of dumb stuff, getting ready to go to prison, So that was 1 billion seconds. 1 trillion seconds ago, cavemen were painting on the walls in France 32,000 years ago. That's a trillion seconds. 38 trillion. Imagine that. 38 trillion. So 32,000 times 32,000. Right? Is that right? Is my math right there? I don't know. But anyways, 1 trillion is 32,000 years ago. If somebody started handing you a $1 bill every second for 24 hours, it would take 32,000 years to give you $1 trillion. So, yeah. But it's insane. That's the difference between when everybody starts throwing around all these millionaires and billionaires. The difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is astronomical. Just absolutely astronomical. And the difference between a billionaire and a trillionaire is just, you can't even fathom. I can't even fathom $38 trillion. I can't. I mean, what was it? During Ronald Reagan, the debt was so high that if you stacked it in $5 bills, it would reach to the moon. I can't even imagine where $38 trillion would reach in $5 bills. I mean, what planet would that hit? Holy cow. But yeah, I don't want to get it. I try to steer clear of politics. I call it rage porn, because whenever I watch stuff on the news, and it's both sides, they just want clicks. They just want you to be mad at the other side. And 99% of each other, let's say 95%, we agree with each other 95%. It's that 5% that people will just beat the crap out of each other over, so Sam says you got your home paid off, good savings and investment, look into retirement. All right, man. Hey, that's awesome. So I hear you. I got to pay off my home. I owe 90,000 on my house. I really need to crack down on it. But I got to do the other little things first. I keep trying to build up my investment or my emergency fund, and then it gets whacked and then stuff like that. So you say, yeah, use long-term investment and compounding interest. Dude, my Roth IRA just hit 100K, and or my 401K. I just converted it to a Roth, so I don't want to say that it's that whole 100,000 isn't all in Roth. I wish it was. I need to convert it. I need to convert it over to a Roth. But I'm watching the compounding interest right now, and it's like I'll look at it one month, and then I'll come back the next month, and boom, it's up $3,000. And yeah, that compounding interest that adds up pretty quick. So use long term. Nice. And do you have a full on withdrawal you're planning, or keeping investments as passive income? Both. That's a good plan right there. Yeah, withdraw and keeping it as passive income. So yeah, but everybody, oh man, I've been on here for 50 minutes and I just realized it's 4:45 and I got to load this stuff up 15 minutes ago. So hey, thanks for the good conversation, everybody. I had a great time on here. Like I say, budget, expense track, and save. Sorry so late. Hey, no problem, man. I'd rather sit here and talk, but I got to go load up these, looks like whopping 3 skids. So fun times. That means I got to get back out in the cold and pallet jack some stuff onto the trailer so that I can get home and eat some dinner. I got a 2-hour drive ahead of me in snow, and the roads are going to be ice. So, but hey, Sam, good conversation. Space Miner, good conversation. I just do random lives. I don't know when I pop up on here. So, usually whenever I have a chance while I'm at work, I'll try to do a live. So, but all right, everybody, like I always say, thanks for coming to my channel, 40 and Broke, where we're all about getting out of debt, saving, investing, and getting our finances under control so we can live the life we've always dreamed of, because that's what it's all about, living the life we've always dreamed of. So, all right, man. Yeah, same. Catch you when I can, man. So, all right. Thanks everybody for showing up, and y'all have a good rest of your day.